Just as the clock was winding down on the first day of the NFL's legal tampering period, and I thought it was safe to upload this week's episode of This Week in Philadelphia Sports, turns out it wasn't. The Eagles went out and made a relatively surprising signing. Surprising in the way that they spent a lot of money at a position that wasn't at least a direct position of need. It was a secondary need going into the offseason, if you pardon the pun. And with so much noise surrounding names like Byron Jones today, this was really the last thing you'd expect to hear. But it's Howie Roseman, and it fits the trend of consistently investing in the trenches on both sides of the ball. So who is it that the Eagles have gone out of their way to sign on a 3-year deal worth $39 million, with 26 of it being guaranteed? That's what we're finding out in today's video. Guys, if you're new around Philly Sports Network, thank you so much for tuning into our content. We know you all live busy lives. I hope you're staying safe through the current coronavirus epidemic. If you could leave a little like on this video and drop your thoughts on the signing down below in the comments. I can't wait to see what you think. There's bound to be some mixed opinion, so let's get into the player himself. And as always, it's a hectic period right now, so make sure you're getting your daily dose of Philadelphia sports coverage from the best site around, phillysportsnetwork.com. There are typically 3 questions you need to ask yourself with any move, and that's exactly the same here. And they are who, why, and how. So let's start off with who. Who is Javon Hargrave? First thing to note before anything else, his nickname's the Gravedigger, which should set a good precedent for what's to follow. He's a 27-year-old nose tackle out of South Carolina State. He was drafted with the 89th overall pick in the 2016 NFL draft by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now since then, he's gone on to have himself quite the start to his career, and he's actually started in 53 of 62 regular season games, and believe it or not, has actually played in all 16 games for the last 3 seasons, which, forget everything else for the minute, is absolutely huge for an Eagles team that was decimated by injury last year. And in case you didn't see Sunday's video, here's what I mean. That's everyone. I mean, Malik Jackson went down, Timmy Jernigan went down, Hassan Ridgeway went down, and this is a recurring theme as well. We'll touch more on this when we get to the how section. Now 27 years old, he stands at 6'2", 305 pounds, and has become an absolute mauler since entering the NFL. In 2019, he was rated the 8th best interior lineman in the league with a PFF grade of 83.4, and he's also rallied to 13 tackles for a loss over the last 2 seasons. Now, just pardon me here while I go, jeez! Now, if that still doesn't make you a little bit flustered, our man Thomas Ringard Peterson found the following stats. That over the last 4 years, the man has 17 sacks, 90 run stops, and 94 quarterback hurries. Now, it is so rare to find someone that is punishing against the run and lethal against the pass, but somehow Javon Hargrave had all 3, and he's actually coming off a career year in 2019. I mean, in that year alone, he ended with a career high in tackles with 60, tackles for a loss with 7, and had 4 sacks to his name. So the guy is in the form of his life, 27 years old, which is around the Howie Roseman prototype, and has been signed to a very similar deal to that of Malik Jackson. Now, what does this mean for Malik Jackson? This is where we get to the why, because if we look at the Eagles' current defensive tackle depth chart, it's now a very intriguing picture. It was only yesterday that I mocked Javon Kinlaw to the Philadelphia Eagles, and now we've got a different Javon in Philadelphia. We can likely assume that Fletcher Cox will remain as DT1, while his running mate is probably going to be Hargrave. What does this mean for Malik Jackson? Well, as noted in previous videos, he can play both the 3-tech and the 5-tech, which is really important for Jim Schwartz, who likes to not only rotate his defensive linemen, but is well aware that the defensive end group is lacking some serious bulk right now. So Jackson could have that Michael Bennett-esque kind of role moving into 2020. Of course, the other thing to note is durability. Again, this goes back to 2017, like I mentioned on Sunday, when Bo Allen and Destiny Vio accumulated over 50% of defensive snaps. In the 2 years since then, it's been tough sledding for Fletcher Cox, who has had to carry the entire position group on his back and is still somehow balling at an unparalleled level. Now, with a new defensive line coach in town who is bound to get the most out of this talent, to make sure that the talent is there on the field to begin with. They can't afford to be taking flyers on guys with injury history. Hargrave is about as durable as they come. Oh, and he hates Cowboys fans. Now, I'll be getting to work on an Eagles film room on Javon Hargrave, breaking down some of his 2019 tape to give you guys the full rundown of what he does well and what exactly he does bring to this Eagles defense. But believe me when I say he is a bad man, and I fully support this move. It is about as Howie as it gets. But what about you guys? What do you think on the surface? Do you like this move? Let me know in the comments down below. From myself, Liam Jenkins, you can follow me on Twitter at LiamJenkinsPSN. I'll see you soon.